Ever wonder how the best players in Madden are normally the same from year to year? Well, in today's video, we're going to teach you some of the principles and things that we can learn from the patterns seen in the tournament players, the top players in the game. What's up, guys? My name is Cody, and I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel. Today's video is all about teaching you guys a system that you can implement in your game today and will help you become a better Madden player. The first thing we want to do is we want to talk about what a system is and why it's important. The first thing is, if you think about it like this, if you're building a house, the first step is not to start cutting the wood. The first step is to design the lengths, the widths, the different measurements that you're going to need to build the house. You have to lay out a plan. And this is something that I think most people don't understand in Madden and really understand anywhere in life is developing a plan. And the reason a plan is important is because what it does is it allows you to create focus. And so, what we're going to do today is we're just going to show you a couple of things that I do at the beginning of every season and really every single day to look at a plan. So, the first thing that you need to do when you're looking at trying to develop a plan is figure out step one is where do I start? That's the first thing you got to figure out. You got to figure out what is your starting point? How do you know what step to go first? And what I would say to that is what you really need to do is when you're in the planning stage and you're trying to figure out where to start, you need to figure out the last step. And so the last step, and this is why this is important, the last step is where do I want to be? Okay, where do I want to be? So what is your goal? What is the end game? What are you trying to accomplish? And then working backwards to figure out the logical progression of everything. So let's just say, for example, let's develop a system for practice mode. Today, I want to show you a little bit of a way that I develop a system for focused practice because there's a saying in the sports world, practice, practice does not make perfect, practice makes permanent. Another way of saying it is practice does not make perfect, only perfect practice makes perfect. Okay. And again, the reason I think this is so important is a lesson that I learned from reading some things about John Wooden, the UCLA coach. And one of the things that came up was John Wooden would carefully plan out, he would spend hours planning out his practices, but his practices would only last an hour and a half. So he would spend more time planning the practice than actually doing it. And I think that's a critical thing for us to learn as we look at developing our own system. So if you want to go into practice mode, again, what is the end goal of practice mode? Well, the end goal of practice mode is to, for me anyways, it's to develop an offensive or defensive scheme or play that I can implement in my game in the real life, and also trial and erroring and trying to figure out how to read defenses. Those are all some other elements too. But really, what practice mode is for you is it's a laboratory that you can test things to see what's going to work in the game. And that way, when you go into a game, you now have a couple of things that you have tested and you can experiment with them in the game. Okay, so that's kind of how I see practice mode. But again, that's a little bit broad. And what you want to do is you want to be as specific as possible with your practice mode sessions, because what some people will do is they will take 4 playbooks into a practice mode and they'll just start tinkering around and messing with that, which is fine. You can still do that and be effective, but what I'm saying is you will be much more efficient if you focus down, narrow down what you want to accomplish. You can't solve every problem in one practice mode session. You just cannot do it. What you need to do is you need to figure out how to do it in bite-sized pieces. Bite-sized pieces, okay? Baby steps. So real quick here, we'll take a look at this. So let's say, for example, Madden 18 is coming out, and I want to develop my first offense. So if I'm putting together an ebook for you guys, which I will be doing, and it'll release on August 22nd, what I want to do is I want to pick a playbook. Now this again, I personally believe you should start where you finished the year before. Okay, because I think that is easiest, simplest. You're already somewhat familiar. Playbooks don't change as much as everyone wants to believe that they do. They don't really change that much year to year. There's little tweaks, little things that are added, but by and large, they don't change year to year. So, where did I finish this year? Well, I finished in the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. Okay, so I'm just gonna do the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. You guys don't have to. It's whatever playbook you finished with in Madden 17. That's the playbook you want to start with in Madden 18. And then as the game goes on, you might find something. You might pop something off or something that you're learning from my videos or different people's channels. You might find something else that you want to experiment. For this video, let's just start where we finish. So you first things first, figure out where do you want to end up. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to develop a couple of plays, a couple of formations that we could take and implement into a game. The second step was pick a playbook. Well, I say, where did you end last season? That's where you want to start the next season. So we're using Pittsburgh. The third step is find the formation you want to work with. Again, the formation. It's only one formation. Do not work with multiple formations at the same time because it will scatter your focus. You won't be able to focus on what you're doing. I understand for those of you guys in competitive leagues, I will be having something come out and kind of show you a little bit of a principle that you can use. But for those of you guys that are just doing this, you want to lab one formation at a time, even in practice mode. Even if you're in a franchise where you need to lab multiple formations and multiple plays, my opinion, it's most effective to only do it one formation at a time and really only 1 to 2 plays at a time. So you want to develop. That's why I'm so adamant about developing a power encounter. So where did I end last year? That's what you would want to start with this season. So I ended with the shotgun bunch. So I'm going to start with the shotgun bunch. Now, again, so some people have said that Z spot is not going to be as effective in this next year, this next season. So we're going to eliminate Z spot from the gun bunch. We won't run Z spot at all. Okay. So now looking at these 4 plays right here, these are the plays that I'm going to work with. And then let's find something I can come out in. So you want to find something similar to Z spot. So like the play that I was going to look at is the double trail or the curl flat or something like that. Um, you know, just trying to find something here. They will probably add a play that has this guy on a post route. It just probably won't be a Z spot post route. So there'll probably be some type of post route from that side because that's the play that I'm going to want to run there. That's the play that I'm going to come out in. So anyways, we'll just work with these 4. So once you do that, then I just go into custom playbooks and you just kind of look at the play art if you want. Or let's just say we wanted to go to split close. Well, you do the same kind of thing. You just look for things like wide receiver corner is a good play because you have different routes that you can use. We know halfback wheel is a good play, so then we want to find something that has this left side guy on a corner route to come out in. So we go through, we look, and we see close corner as the play we're going to come out in. So then we'll just do split close for today because I've talked about gun bunch a lot on my channel. So split close, and again, this is the interesting thing that people don't quite understand. They think it's just gun bunch, and that gun bunch is the best formation, and yada yada yada. And it's really not true. It is a good formation, in my opinion. It's one of the best formations every single year, not just this year. But then what you want to do is you want to have 2 controllers, and you want to go into practice mode. You can pick whoever you want. I'm just going to go with the Raiders. I think they're kind of fun to play with. But the defense that you want to put is the defense you want to work with. So if in this session you're only working offense, then you still want to pick that defensive playbook you're familiar with, just so that you're, staying consistent. The offense doesn't matter. Don't get worried about that. And then Dallas, and we said we were running the Pittsburgh Steelers playbook. And again, since we're on offense, defense, it doesn't matter. So one thing that I have learned from my experience, this will save you guys a lot of time. Only do one mode at a time. So if you're going in to practice mode, get right to work. Focus on the 4 to 5 plays you want to develop, and then get out of there. Because practice mode makes you better, but it doesn't like you're not playing any games, you're not ranking up, you're not doing anything. There's no productivity. It's just preparing you for what's getting ready to happen in a game mode. So my encouragement to you guys is get into practice mode, focus on the 4 things. I would only do one side of the ball at a time, and I would only do one formation at a time. So in layman's terms, I would only practice when I go in here. I'm only going to work on the bunch week. I'm only going to work on PA post, verticals, and stick. If I want to, if I want to mess around with the run, I can. But then, so you want to come out defensively, I would come out in nickel normal just because it gives you cover 4, cover 3, cover 2 man, and a cover 0 blitz at your disposal. So you just come out cover 4. Don't even look at anything because the more you look at stuff, the more you're going to get bogged down by it. We're in split close, and we said we want to come out into play close corner. Now the play we want to run the most is this play halfback wheel here. So we'll show you the play. And what I'm thinking with this is what we could do. We could do a lot of different things. There's countless of things that you can do. But what I'm going to do is motion Williams to the left side, put him on a slant, and make it kind of like PA post. It's literally PA post. The only difference is Ezekiel Elliott is on a wheel route instead of like in bunch he would be a tight end and he'd be on a streak pattern. So you just do that. Once he gets out here, you snap it. Your first read is R1, and then you just kind of look through your progressions now, and you'll work through that. That's kind of the timing. But then once you've kind of looked at every progression, then what you want to do is you want to go to your other play that you've got here. So that's this play right here. So the difference now is in halfback wheel. If you notice, Cole Beasley's on a corner now. He's going to be on an in breaking pattern, and then Witten is on a blue route. You could change him to a streak if you wanted, if you want to do that. But then we'll take Terrence Williams here, and he's normally on a slant. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put him on a little out pattern. And if we motion him out here, he's going to set up right here, and we just go. And so just a quick throw, quick out pattern. You can do it against cover 3 if you want. If they go cover 2, though, we'll show you, because that's just, we'll just show you real quick. And then you could put Witten again on that streak. Now you probably wouldn't run this against cover 2, but you can if you're careful with it. So this route to Zeke will be effective. The other thing you'll be able to hit if you run this against cover 2 is you'll be able to hit this out route to Williams right there to the sideline. So again, and you'll tinker with this, and then so then what you would do, your next step would then be, okay, so I got halfback wheel, I got close corner. Now let me check my run. Let's see. Let's just make sure my run can work off of this. So I'll motion him over here. They're in cover 4, which is a good run defense. There they ate us up, but I don't think that was kind of a fluke thing. Our guys just didn't block for whatever reason. But then you would kind of just work with this. So you look at this, and then you'd go through. Wow, he's coming through every time. I don't know why that guy's not blocking him. So then you would take note of that, and then you would say, okay, well, I don't want to run that play against nickel normal with a defensive line that's not, if the defensive line is not spread. But then you could come out in this fullback off inside, because that's kind of your counter run. So then you would just test it, motion this guy over, make everything consistent, and now you're running with the fullback. And the other thing about split close, you can test your formation, and you could put a halfback back there. So now in 10 minutes, in about 15 minutes here, and with you running the plays, making sure they work, knowing what defenses to look for, that kind of thing. So it take you about 20 minutes total. You can have an offensive scheme built within 20 minutes, okay? But it's all about having a system in place that allows you to get in and get out as quickly as possible. And then you would go to the game and you would test it, see if it works. And then you would run it. I would say you should run one scheme for 10 games before you have a true evaluated thing. And then at the end of each game, you just take note. Okay, did it work? Okay, yes, it did. If it didn't, then make note of why it didn't work. And you'll find that by tracking and logging these things, you will get better. The other thing that you'll be able to do with this is by staying focused on one formation, it will make you that much more effective in the game. So anyways, guys, I know this was a little bit longer than I had planned on, but I just wanted to get into the weeds a little bit with you, show you how to develop a system for offense. We'll show you how to develop something for defense soon. But let me know if you enjoyed this video and if it was helpful. I hope it was. And try it out now. Try it out with Madden 17 before the game comes out. Just try to figure out what formation, what playbook do I want to run. I recommend starting where you ended last season and then just start working on it. That way when Madden 18 comes out, all you got to do is plug the plays in. Okay. So anyways, guys, want to thank you for your time. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you're already subscribed, then step up and invite somebody